Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I know I've been gone for a while, it's just that life happened, but I'm back and I'm very excited to kind of like close off the year 2022 with like one final reading despite me being missing for a few months. So in today's video, I kind of want to do like your 2022 in review. So I have 3 groups to choose from. So the first group that we're going to be doing will be this group, which is the Amethyst cluster. So if you feel drawn to the Amethyst cluster, then you can click on the timestamp in the description of this video. And then the second group is this beautiful spirit quartz. So if you are drawn to this particular group, then you can click on the timestamp. It's all in the description. And then last but not least is this very beautiful pink amethyst. So it's a pink amethyst geode. So if you are drawn to this particular group, then you can click on the timestamp in the description of this video. So I'm very excited to do this reading for you. You can pause this particular section of the video to meditate and choose which pile to or which group to go for, and once you're ready, I'll see you there. See you. Hi group 1, if you've chosen the Amethyst cluster just now, this will be your reading on your 2022 in review. So it's been quite an interesting year. I think there's a lot of up and down. I think everyone experienced a lot of things this year. At least it is for me. I'm not sure about others. I guess we'll find out. And later we'll be using the Sufi tarot here. But before that, I have pre-shuffled a few oracle deck. I will leave all of the decks that I'm using in the description of this video. So we're going to be looking at these few oracles. For you, group 1, you got 2 of this card and 1 of each for the other. And I guess we'll be looking at your journey so far, or the main theme in general that you have experienced throughout the year 2022. So let's see, the first card that you have is the Spider and Passion Flower, Creative Ingenuity. And then we also have Princess, You Can Be Your Own Knight. And then, is that okay? I think so. I'll fix it in a bit. And then after that we have 2 of this. So it is the Tao, number 38, and the Yin Empress, number 40. So any of this number might be significant to you. We have number 2 here, we have number 1, we have number 38, and we have number 40. 38 reduces to 2, and then 40 reduces to 4. Okay, so in an overview of like some of the big theme that you experienced throughout this year is probably finding your own inner strength in a way, being your authentic self, or trying not to conform into society, or trying not to fit yourself into the mold created by society. As in, probably there's been a lot of moments in your life where you are being asked to think outside the box, to come up with a lot of creative solutions to whatever challenges that you are experiencing in your life. And this, especially this card here, the Spider and Passion Flower here, is basically talking about that aspect of creative thinking or thinking outside the box. Because if we think about it, spiders are very, as scary as they may be, spiders are quite an artist when it comes to creating their own webs. And I feel like that's what you've been doing. You've been trying to find your own way. You're trying to find a solution to whatever obstacles that you have to face throughout this year. And I feel like with all of those challenges that you face, with all of those obstacles that you have to overcome, I feel like it allows you to come into the realization of your own power, which is kind of like what these three cards is talking about. Like, especially with the Yin Empress and also Princess, you can be your own knight. It's basically about finding the strength of your own feminine energy, and knowing that just because this doesn't matter if you identify yourself as any specific gender. It's more about the energy that you carry. And I feel like this year you have been put in a lot of situation where you are asked to believe in your divine feminine energy. So maybe you are relying a lot on your intuition, or you learn to rely a lot on your intuition, or you finding that inner strength to be creative and find a solution that is not conventional. Like, maybe you're not trying to do what everyone else is doing. Like, you might stand out and it's fine, because who needs to blend in anyway? So especially for you, group 1. And I feel like all of this journey that you went through about finding your strength, finding the creative way of solving whatever obstacles or challenges come your way, have allowed you to realize of your own strength, or at least beginning to realize of your own strength throughout this year. That you realize that you are stronger than you give yourself credit for. And I feel like this is the main theme that you experience. So this can be a combination of many different things. It can be something that happened with you spiritually, or career or studies, or something in terms of your financial life, or your relationship with family, or your romantic relationship or friendship. Maybe all of those combined have led to you realizing that you can be your own knight. You can be authentically yourself. You don't have to fit in to be great. Like, you don't need the society's approval to be happy. And I feel like that is kind of like the lessons or the overall theme that you have learned throughout the year 2022. And for some of you, you might have been further along in the journey, and you are becoming more and more into your into a more balanced divine feminine energy, and then you are a lot more in tune with your intuition. You are a lot more authentic with your own creativity, with your own energy, with what you need. You are able to do all of that already. And then there are some of you that might still be at the start of that journey. Like, you are only starting to realize of your own strength. You are only starting to come into the idea that you can be your own knight. You can be your own champion. That you don't need anyone else to come and save you. You can pretty much do everything yourself. You might need help once in a while, but you can do it without giving your power away. And also this card here, the Tao, also speaks about going with the flow, not resisting the divine plan of like where the universe is taking you in this journey. But at the same time, you are learning how to go with the flow without giving up your power to another person or to fate completely. Like, you are still in control of your own life. Like, you know you are the author of the story of your life, but at the same time you are learning how to not resist whatever redirection that the universe brings your way, in order to learn a different kind of lesson, so that you can get to where you want to be. So I feel like this year is a lot about learning about your own strength, about learning about your own capabilities in being the person in charge of your own life, going with the flow without giving up your power, being able to be creative in solving whatever obstacles or challenges that you face, and at the same time finding that feminine energy within yourself and being a lot more authentic, and not having that pressure of trying to fit in into the society anymore, because you know you are the best when you are being authentic to yourself, and that is what you're striving for right now. So that is very beautiful, group one. And I feel like a lot of you will continue to develop this energy even going into 2023. So that's very, very wonderful to see. So now we're going to go into the tarot part of the reading. So for the tarot part of the reading, what I'm going to be looking at is basically the biggest blessing for 2022, the biggest challenge of 2022, as well as the lesson of 2022 that you can carry forward into 2023. So what are like the lessons or the ongoing lesson or even lesson that you have learned that you can continue to carry it forward into 2023, so you can grow even further from there. Okay, sorry, this is not the best shuffling skills that you might see. Alright. Okay, so let's start with group one's biggest blessing first. Okay, so for group one of Haiwan, what is their biggest blessing of 2022? What is group one's biggest blessing for the year 2022? Oh, wow. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna take up this. I'm not gonna take the whole thing, but I'm gonna take the top one. So we have the Shah of Swords, which basically means King of Swords. Okay, then let's see. I feel like for the biggest blessings is basically, I think about, I just can't have, because obviously it's about having that wisdom, like intellectual wisdom. It doesn't matter if you're identify yourself as male or not, but it feels like this year is where you are at peace with your own mind, because if you can see that, there's a bit of a shadow there, because you can see that the King of Swords in this particular picture looks so peaceful. Like he looks so peaceful, is just like chilling on that lazy chair there, and then just looking out into the horizon. But at the same time, it looks like he has a very clear idea of what he's looking at. Like, yeah, there are like some winds and stuff like that, but it feels like you are a lot more at peace with your own thoughts. I feel like with everything that you have gone through so far, one of your biggest blessing of 2022 is basically finding mental peace or mental clarity and gaining wisdom from that. I feel like it's going to be a huge transformation for you. Maybe for some of you, before this you had a lot of anxious thoughts, or you overthink a lot, or you worry a lot. But I think after everything that you've gone through, like after learning of your own strength and getting more in touch with your feminine energy, and going with the flow, but at the same time not having the pressure of trying to fit in anymore, I feel like it allows you to be more at peace with yourself. Like you probably find yourself worry a little bit less, even if it's just like 5%. It doesn't matter, it's still progress. You probably find yourself worrying less, and you probably find yourself not overthink so much. Like you are a lot more accepting towards whatever that comes your way. You take it one at a time. You just take a deep breath and then say like, I can handle this. I am strong enough to handle it. I am very confident that everything going to be okay and going to be turned out okay. So I feel like that's your biggest blessing for 2022. Just being able to be at peace with your own mind. I think that is something that probably a lot of people want. I definitely want that as well. So I think like this is like a very very wonderful blessing to have for the year, and then definitely I'm confident that if you can maintain it throughout, you will definitely be able to carry it forward into 2023 as well. Okay, continuing on to your biggest challenge. So what is group 1 biggest challenge for 2022? So for group 1, what is their biggest challenge? 5 of Wands. So this is the 5 of Wands, or 5 of Staff in this deck. So your biggest challenge is probably, it could be involving breaking out from society's expectation that caused a lot of people to disagree with some of the decision that you make. So I feel like for some of you, it might not apply to all of you, but for some of you, I feel like because you are doing things your way, you are being your own knight, you are finding creative solutions to whatever obstacles or challenges that you're facing, I feel like that might cause a little bit of a rift in your environment, especially like between friends and families or colleagues that expected you to be or behave or say a certain thing, but then suddenly you're like, no, I'm not going to do all of that. That's not my authentic self. I'm going to do what is the best for me, like genuinely the best for me. And that might cause some people to disagree or look at you differently, or like some of them might go into the extent of actually have an argument with you about it, or arguments about it with you. And to another part of people here, what I feel like there's a lot of conflict within yourself in breaking free from society's expectation. And or for some of you it might be both. Both of them might be the challenge that some of the challenges that you face this year. Like you are finding your own strength, especially for those of you that are at the beginning of this journey. Let's say you have spent a lot of time trying to please other people, trying to make sure that other people are happy with what they expect you to be. And then let's say you are reaching a point of like, no, I want to do things that bring me joy. I want to do things that feels the most authentic to myself. I want to do things that can serve me to my highest good. But at the same time, within you, there's that conflict of like, oh my God, I'm going to disappoint my family, or I'm going to disappoint my friends, or I'm going to ruin my reputation in my career. So there might be like that inner conflict within you that is not certain on how to do this or how to go about this. And then on top of that, like let's say with the way people react around you, it might cause you like a lot more conflict within you as well as externally about this path that you are on. But at the same time, knowing that this was your blessing, I feel like it also teaches you to not care about what other people think, to not care about fitting in, and just if you're going to stand out, you're going to stand out brilliantly, as long as you know you are being your authentic self and you are doing things that bring you joy and doing things towards the direction of your highest good. So your challenge has definitely been about stepping out from what the society or what people around you thinks to be the norm, and stepping out of their expectation of how they think you should act or say or behave or feel, and stuff like that. So you are stepping away from all of that, and that has been probably one of your biggest challenge, because you have to go against the disapproval of other people. Not just that, but you also have to go against the disapproval that might come from within you, that wants to people please of the society around you. So that might be like your biggest challenge to date, or some of you might have already moved past it, but some of you might still be dealing with this. And then finally, we're going to be looking at what is the lesson from 2022 that you should carry forward into 2023. So for group 1, what is the lesson from 2022 that they should carry forward into 2023? For group 1, what is the lesson from 2022 that they should carry forward into 2023? Okay, so this will be the lessons. some fell. Okay, there's a lot of cards, but I'm just gonna take the one at the top. Okay, that is the Ace of Wands. Okay, so that is the lesson that you're going to take into 2023, into the new year. So what I'm seeing here is basically, I feel like in this particular case, especially with everything that I've talked about so far, and everything that from all of the other cards as well, I feel like your biggest lesson to carry forward into 2023 is basically taking more, like not taking, or yeah, like taking charge more of your journey, about creating your own path, about taking that wand or that staff and just lead the way. Because this particular Ace of Wands here, you can see that this person is like holding on tightly onto the wand, and then there's like a path at the back with like the sunset or sunrise or something, but at the same time you can see these bursts of energy around this particular wands or staff. And I feel like it's kind of like the lesson that you are going forward with for 2023, that you learn from 2022, is basically to continue to be your own knight, to continue to be your own knight, to continue to be more in charge of your own life. Don't give away these wands to another people to lead you in your life. It's more like you taking charge of your own life, of you being more in control of your own life. However, not without trying to control too much of what the divine have in store for you. So going with the flow, but at the same time knowing that you are still very much in control of your own journey. So I feel like in 2023, based on what you've learned so far, you are being encouraged to continue to find your own strength, to continue to go towards a direction that bring you joy and can serve you to your highest good, without worrying whether or not you will fit into the society or not, without worrying about what other people will think. Just be at peace mentally, like don't overthink so much, don't worry so much, and just focus on the present and where the journey is taking you, and basically get in touch more with your divine energy. That means use your intuition, pay more attention to your intuition, and know that you can be your own hero, and you are creative enough to go into a direction, any direction, to overcome your obstacles as well as overcome your challenges. And that can definitely help you a lot in 2023. So I feel like that is the overall message of like your 2022 in review, and what are the lessons that you can take into 2023. Now, before we end the reading, I'm just going to pull one or two cards from this deck over here. It's upside down. From this deck over here, and then just to end the reading. So like final messages for you. So for group 1. So for group 1, what is the final message for them before we end the reading? So for group 1, final messages for group 1. I think I'm going to take this one. Luck. It's here, it's here. A package sent straight from the heavens, or dark matter for all you atheists, that's been gifted to you, dear friend, and contains a very cartoonish poof of luck. This magic fairy dust will stick to you for the next few weeks and align whatever unseen forces need aligning to open the creative doors you've been waiting for. Keep your eyes peeled for opportunities, connections, and wings from the universe hinting you're headed in the right direction. So pop on your victory sash, follow the trail of good omens, and don't stop till you get to the after party. Hopefully the cheese fountain will still be going strong. I find it interesting because it mentioned about the magic fairy dust will stick to you for the next few weeks, and it just reminds me of this bursts of energy around the wands that's kind of like remind me of like magic dust as well after I read that. So I'm just going to take one more as the closing message for you, group 1. Okay, I'm going to take this one, and that will be no stakes. I liberate myself from any notion of stakes or pressure or risk, and enjoy the lightness that comes with fluttering from joy to joy like a creative butterfly. I allow myself to just be and make whatever, whenever, however. In the grand scheme, my world is a tiny piece of space lint, hurtling through infinite blackness, where it will inevitably be crushed by asteroid or swallowed by a black hole. So why should I feel any stress at all? So I feel like this actually kind of like goes really well with the overall theme of just like going with the flow, not worrying about things going out of control or things not going according to plan, but at the same time knowing that you are your own knight, you can still make it through, everything will be all right. Don't overthink too much. You already been through a lot, you have learned a lot to have that mental clarity to just stay calm and be at peace of your own thoughts without having to worry too much or anything like that. So I feel like that's a good message to end on. So dear group 1, I hope some of the messages in this reading resonate with you, if not most of it. If you didn't resonate to some of the messages, then just keep in mind that this was a general reading. It's not all of the messages are meant for you. And I hope that you enjoyed the reading. So if you do enjoy the reading, then consider subscribing to the channel, give this video a like, or if you know anyone that will benefit from this reading, then you can share this video with them too. Alright, group 1, thank you so much for watching this video. I wish you all the best for your journey ahead. Have a great holiday and enjoy the last few weeks or few days of the year in 2022, and have a happy new year. I'll see you next year. Bye, group 1. Hi, group 2. So as you can see, all of your cards has been laid out. And the reason for this was that I actually have done your reading, and after I finished recording it, I pressed stop record, and then suddenly the video just gone, as in the file got corrupted, and then the whole thing just gone. And then I was like, oh, I don't have time to redo an entire reading for one pile. But what I can do, I guess, is just give a short, I don't know yet how short I can make this, to be completely honest. But yeah, I had some oracle cards and I have some tarot decks. And I finished off the reading with a bit more of an oracle card, but the file got corrupted, and then I lost everything in pile 2. For group 2. But if let's say you chose the spirit quartz, then this was your reading. So I'm just going to give like a very brief summary on it, because I don't have the time to redo the entire reading, or I feel like if I redo the entire reading, it's not going to be as good as the other one, or the one that I did but the file got corrupted. I'm sure there's a reason why that happened, and I feel like the first oracle deck that you get was the Ram and Dahlia, is about determination. It's like I was saying about how you people in group 2 are very determined people, you are hardworking people, that you kind of like push through in your life in making sure that you have what you want in life. Or having a clear idea of what you want to achieve and then going for it. But at the same time, you are also being asked to be honest with yourself, because as you are charging towards the line that you want, you also tend to try to do it alone most of the time, or you are more of a lone ranger. You're not really asking for help or anything like that. So I feel like this year 2022 is basically asking you to be honest with yourself, and knowing how far can you push your limit, and when do you need to recognize that you have reached your limit, And with the dynasty of the Divine Mother as well as Sister of the Star Blossoms being here, it's about going with the flow, not just going with the flow, but allowing yourself to be inspired by your environment or other people around you. And at the same time, with the Sister of Star Blossom, it's about knowing when to ask for help. Like, it's great if you can do things alone, but sometimes it's a lot more fruitful, it's a lot more fulfilling when you are doing it with other people. Or sometimes there are just things that it's not possible to do it alone and you need help from other people to do it. So this year is mainly is about realizing of your own strength, about how far can you do that alone, but at the same time when you can actually have to come into the honesty with yourself to just say that, you know what, I need help. And also that when you allow yourself to be helped with other people, sometimes you might not realize that you end up learning a lot more from other people, or you end up being inspired a lot by other people. So this year in 2022 is about knowing your limits and when to ask for help and allowing yourself to be helped by other people. So that's like a very short overview. And then when I did the tarot section just now, this particular card was talking about your biggest blessing of 2022. This was your biggest challenge. And then this is about the lessons from 2022 that you can take into 2023. So the Two of Wands or Two of Staff in this particular deck, this is the Sufi tarot deck, is talking about you gaining a lot of new perspectives from allowing yourself to work with other people or allowing other people to help you. You gaining a lot of new perspectives, regardless if the experience itself was pleasant or not so pleasant. It gives you things that allows you to view things from different perspectives, and that is a blessing regardless, because it shows that you are now growing into a wiser person, growing into a better person, knowing when to take action by yourself and when you need to be part of a community. So this year, your biggest blessings is just the amount of new perspectives that you gain in life, in knowing your own strength and limitation. And then in terms of your biggest challenge of 2022 is basically, for some of you, it's about asking for help. Like, you are so used to working on your own, you are so used to getting things done on your own, or maybe you have traumatic experience by when you trust other people, so now you have trust issues. So this year your biggest challenge was to actually allow yourself to recognize that you need help and actually asking for help. So or for some of you, your biggest challenge is just learning how to be a better team player, learning how to work better as a team. And I feel like, again, it comes back down to you being so used to working on your own that this year is just about teaching you to have better idea of how to work with other people. And it's been like a lot of lesson that you learn, like how to communicate with other people, how to allow other people to chip in and give their ideas, and when do you know that, okay, I'm setting my boundaries, you can't step over these boundaries, or making sure that you don't step over other people's boundaries. So you learn a lot, and that has been a challenge for you, especially if you're not used to working as a team, or working with other people in general. So it's been a lot of learning experience for you in 2022 when it comes to like working with other people. And then for the third one is like the lesson that you can take from this year going into 2023. Now, I find this particular one interesting. Sorry you can't see my hand, it's because I'm holding my cat. She wants to sit in she wants to be cuddled like a baby right now, so I'm holding her with both hands. So you're just hearing my voice right now. So for this third one, this Salik here is a full card. So and then you also have the Eight of Cups. So the lesson that you learned from 2022 that you can carry forward into 2023 is basically about taking that leap of faith, especially when you are called to go into a different direction. Take that leap of faith, but at the same time know when it no longer serves you to your highest good. So that means knowing that, oh, it's no longer teaching you anything. Like you are no longer gaining anything from this. careful not to stay somewhere just for the sake of playing it safe, because that's not your nature. Just because you are learning to work with other people doesn't mean that you allow yourself to stay in one spot and not moving forward in life. So the lesson that you learn from 2022 that you can take into 2023 is basically knowing when to walk away from an opportunity. Take that leap of faith, especially if you are like intuitively you are being called into that direction, then take that leap of faith. But at the same time, if you know you have learned what you need to learn from that direction and it can no longer serve you to your highest good, then recognize that, be honest with yourself, and walk away from that particular situation. So that was the lesson. That was basically like a very quick rundown of what I did just now when I originally recorded this and shuffled everything. And then to finish off the reading, I got two cards, which is this rough draft over here, that say, I honor the beauty of rough drafts or first steps or messy trial and errors. Nothing gets finished unless it gets started, and everything has to start somewhere. So forget dodging my first sentence or brush stroke or embroidered poodle. I'll give scrutiny a day or maybe a whole month off so I can go nuts on completing version 1.0. That's new first move. Ta-da! Now anyone know a good editor? And then another one is drive. You are hereby awarded an infinitude of drive and motivation, follow through, stick-to-itiveness, and any other permutation of said superfuel. You can wake up, buck up, and blast through the daily darnets to finish whatever project you've got your greasy little mitts on. Even if the luster of your once so very new and thrilling idea has lost some or a lot of its sparkle, you've now got the boost you need to just keep slogging till it's done. And the speedier the better, so you can fall in love with the next new sweet creative thing. So this like final two cards is basically about taking that leap of faith. With the rough drafts, it's about taking that leap of faith. When you feel called towards something, then take that leap of faith. Try. You will not know if something is not for you unless you give it a try, especially if you feel drawn to it. And then if, let's say, you have with the card drive here, it's about making sure that you're not making excuses about staying in one place, or like, oh, I just need to work with other people, I just need to be complacent, or I just need to please other people. So I think that's kind of like a reminder that you are a determined person, you are a hardworking person. Never let that go away. You're just learning how to expand and how to grow even more as a person by being a great team member. So it's about not losing sight of what exactly it is that you want and finding a way to get there. So yeah, this is like a very, very speed through version, because I think the previous one was like about half an hour where I was like shuffling and talk more in depth about it. But then, you know, I realized that the recording was off, because who knows, maybe people in this group don't like long readings and we prefer like the fast version of it. So there you go. Everything happened for a reason, I'm sure. But group 2, this was your reading. I hope this particular recording will be okay later on. But yeah, perseverance, push through. As you know, the first time I did it, it just didn't work, but then I have the option of just quit, but I didn't, and I think that speaks a lot of your character as well. You're a very determined person, group 2. So I hope this reading, this short speed through reading, is resonating with you at least a little bit, if not most of it. If you enjoyed this, then do consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. If you know anyone that might benefit from the reading, then definitely share this video with them. So that's it. I wish you all a great few weeks or few days of the year. Enjoy the rest of your 2022. I will see you again in 2023. Bye, group 2. Hi, group 3. If you've chosen the pink amethyst, then this will be your reading on your 2022 in review. So later on, we will be using the Sufi tarot to basically get an idea of some of the areas in your life. But before that, we're going to look at the general theme overview of your 2022 with this pre-shuffle oracle card. I have 3 oracle cards here. So this is going to be more on like the main theme of your 2022. Like all of the challenges, all of the lessons that you've learned is basically like this is the theme of it. So the first one is the bobcat and the blackthorn, patience. And then we also have protest, start a revolution. So this is 28, whereas this is 40. And then we have from the Kuan Oracle deck is reveal the peacock beauty with the number 24. So group 3, I feel like you're fighting for something. It's not necessarily have to be social justice kind of thing. It could just be fighting for your own rights or fighting for something that's going to benefit you or your family. It doesn't have to be like doing protests at the streets trying to get justice for an entire ethnicity or anything like that. I mean, if you are, that's amazing. But let's say if it's not, let's say it's just about you standing up for yourself, for example, that is enough. That is good enough. That is the same thing, basically. But I feel like in the year 2022, a lot of the things that you went through or a lot of the things that you experienced is about finding your own voice, especially with the reveal, the peacock beauty here. Some of you might use music as your medium, but I feel like you are finding your voice. You are finding your voice. You are finding for some of you, you might have been working on your throat chakra throughout this year, but I feel like you are starting a revolution mainly for yourself. It could be for others as well, but you are standing up for yourself. You are standing up mainly for yourself. You are recognizing your own worth. You are recognizing your own worth, and you know that you deserve better than what you have before. Like, you know you deserve the best in life. You know that you deserve whatever that you want to manifest in life. That you deserve all of that because you know that those are like your divine birthright, for example. And then this one, with this card being here, the bobcat and blackthorn with patience, is that you have been fighting really, really hard, but at the same time, there's also a lesson of knowing that things not going to change overnight. Sometimes they are not even going to change in a week or a month. Sometimes it takes a few months. Sometimes it takes a few years, depending on exactly what you're fighting for. But the idea is to not give up, continue to find your voice, continue to fight for yourself, to stand up for yourself, to know your rights and to fight for it, to know that you deserve better in life and to continue to fight for it, but at the same time with an understanding that it's not going to just magically manifest itself in an hour or so. Sometimes it requires a lot of patience and it requires a lot of persistence. An example comes to my mind is that it has nothing to do with like fighting for something, but when it comes to patience, what comes to my mind is that, you know, one of those nature photographer that they will sit in a while in like uncomfortable place, and then they try to camouflage themselves so that they looks like a bush or something like that, and then they can end up sitting in that position for many hours just to get the perfect shot of like a particular bird or a particular species of animal. And it's not like they sit there and then they whistle and then the animals show up. No, they just sometimes they have to be there like at the crack of dawn and sit there until it's like noon or later, just so that they can get the perfect shot that they want, that we all enjoy, that we all get to enjoy online. So that requires a lot of patience, and I feel like this is also something that you are going through, knowing that whatever that you're trying to change, whatever that you're trying to fight for, whatever that you're trying to stand up for yourself or for other people, that it takes time. It might not take a few hours, it might take even longer than that, but it requires patience. It requires patience, and it requires persistence. So I feel like that is something that is the overall theme that you are learning for the year 2022. Now, let's go on into the tarot part of this. So for the tarot part, what we're going to do is I'm mainly going to divide it into 3 parts. I'm going to ask about your biggest blessings for 2022, and then I'm also going to ask about your biggest challenge for 2022, and then I'm also going to ask about what is the lesson from 2022 that you can carry forward into 2023. So those are like the 3 main things. If other messages come for me from these 3 oracle parts, then I will let you know. But for now, I think that was the main message that I get about your experience in 2022. So now let's get into the tarot part of this. So for group 3, what is their biggest blessing of 2022? What is group 3's biggest blessing for 2022? What is group 3's biggest blessing for 2022? What is group 3's biggest blessing for 2022? This one. So this is the biggest blessing. Love to see that. So this is the Empress, or in this deck is called Shahbanu. So love that this is your blessings for 2022, because it shows that you are being, like you are loving yourself a lot more, that you are paying more attention to yourself, paying more attention to your needs, paying attention to what you want in life, and you are making it a priority as well. That you are being a lot more nurturing with yourself. You are making yourself a priority. You are loving yourself a lot more. You are being a lot more patient with yourself. And I feel like that is a wonderful blessing to have for 2022. Now let's go into 2022's biggest challenge. So for group 3, what is their biggest challenge of 2022? What is group 3's biggest challenge for 2022? What is group 3 biggest challenge for 2022? Okay, I'm gonna take this. Ashikan. Oh, Ashikan is the Lover's card in the tarot with number 6. So we have 3, we have 6, we have another 6 here. So we have Lovers. Okay, for some of you, it might just literally mean that your love life was a bit of a challenge this year. That is like the more literal interpretation of it. But I think for most of you, this a bit more towards yourself, like the love that you have towards yourself. For some of you, okay, I'm not saying for all of you, I don't think it's for all of you, but for some of you, I feel like you have neglected yourself for a very long time. You have stopped paying attention to the guidance that is trying to get you to a happier place. and you are also haven't been paying attention to both your feminine and masculine energy within yourself. So because of that, you have stopped loving yourself for quite a while. It is only in this year, based on what you have experienced this year, that you are overcoming this challenge. But before this, I feel like you are struggling to find that love for yourself. You are struggling to allow yourself to heal. Maybe you feel like you're being selfish if you prioritize yourself. Maybe you used to have this mindset, but this year you are overcoming this challenge and going into the Empress energy, where you know that in order for me to serve other people the best that I can, I need to take better care of myself. Self-care is not selfish. Self-care is a necessity, just like food and water and oxygen that we breathe. So everything that you do for your own well-being is not selfish. And I think the challenge is allowing yourself to realize that it's okay to take care of yourself. So for some of you, it could literally means romantic relationship in your life is not going great. There's a lot of challenge. I'm not saying that you're breaking up with whoever that you're with. It's just that maybe there's a little bit of challenge in there. Maybe because of this realization of what you deserve, you start to ask more from your partner. Maybe you start, not necessarily ask more. That means you're like, you know you deserve more than just the bare minimum. You know you deserve to be treated like the queen or the king by your partner. And then you know that you've been treating your partner like the king and the queen that they deserve, but you never get the same treatment back. So maybe it's like you demanding equality in your own relationship, and maybe that has caused a bit of disturbance. But that's not a bad thing, because you're just learning of your worth. You are realizing of your worth, and you are not afraid to voice out and ask what you deserve. So for some of you, you might have a little bit of a challenge in that area. But for a lot of you also, I feel like it's mainly about the relationship or the loving relationship that you have with yourself. And for some of you, it could be both. And I think for a lot of you, it might be both. The relationship with yourself, as well as whoever that's like your romantic interests or romantic partners in your life. So that's kind of like the challenge that you have, the challenge that you faced in 2022. But then again, depending on the individual, it might be a very, very big challenge or obstacle. But for some of you, it might just create some unpleasantness, but it's nothing too uncomfortable for you to handle. But at the same time, it has led you to realize the blessings of loving yourself a lot more. So the blessings that you have now is the result of overcoming or realizing that you deserve better from yourself, as well as from the people around you. So I feel like you are coming into the realization that you deserve better. You are that you deserve to be treated with respect, or to be treated as an equal. So you are moving away from things that no longer serve you. You are cutting off cords towards toxic relationship. So you are finding your own worth, finding your own strength, finding your own voice. And I feel like for some of you, that has been very difficult, especially if you've been in a toxic relationship that's very difficult to get out of. Maybe this is like you finding your strength, you finding your energy to walk away, or you have walked away. So now you're in your healing journey of loving yourself a lot more. So wherever you are in your journey, just know that whatever that you're going through is requiring a lot of patience, but at the same time, prioritizing yourself is not selfish. And also know that you can work well as a community. So let's say you are in a situation where you know you can't fight for it alone, you know you can't do it just by yourself, then don't be afraid to stand with other people and ask other people to help and stand with you as well. So I feel like that is kind of like the challenge of 2022 that you're facing. And lastly is the lesson of 2022 that is you can carry forward into 2023. So for group 3, that was fast. For group 3, what's the lesson from 2022 that you can carry forward in 2023? So it is Malika of Swords, which is the Queen of Swords. I love this. I love this because she is guarding her palace. She is guarding her room there. I feel like this is you. You are guarding your own peace. You are guarding your own self-worth. You are fighting for your own self-worth. You become your own warrior. You're not just the queen, you're not just the empress, but you're also the warrior of your own life. You know you're right. You have, and then also with the Queen of Swords, it's very fitting with this card here. Reveal the peacock beauty of finding your voice. It's like, yes, you have found your voice, and continue to carry it into 2023. Don't just leave it here in 2022. Carry it into 2023. Continue to fight for your right. Continue to know your worth. Continue to make people see your worth. Well, technically, you don't have to make people see your worth. You just have to show it to them. Whether or not they want to see it is completely up to them. But if they fail to see your worth, then it's their problem, not you. And I feel like you are going into 2023 with the lesson of like, I know my boundaries. I know I am being guided. I know exactly what my worth is. I know that I deserve better in life, and I'm not going to settle for less. So I'm going to protect my boundaries. I'm going to protect my worth. I'm going to protect my values, and no one can step on it. So I feel like this is the energy, the lesson that you learn from 2022, and then you're going to 2023 with that energy. And I am so proud of you, Group 3. So if like that is what you've been doing in life, or especially throughout this year, then just know that that's a confirmation that you're doing awesome. You're doing awesome. You're doing great. You're stepping into your power. So don't give up. Keep going. Really, really great to see that, Group 3. All right, before we finish off, I'm going to take a couple of cards from this deck, just like as final messages for dear Group 3, and see what are like maybe end of the year messages that you can take for yourself, and then bring it into the new year. So for Group 3, what is final messages? Ooh, okay. Discernment. When I'm elbow deep in my process, I'm not afraid to add some gritty to the nitty and embrace the value of discernment. Stepping back, I can look at my work with the honesty of a true friend and be really real about what's working and what isn't. Would I let my bestie walk around with a booger hanging out of their nose? No way. So get ready, current project. Mama's coming at you with a tissue. Oh, I think that's beautiful. I think that's kind of like you, if we're kind of like trying to fit it into this reading. I feel like no matter what you're going through, or no matter where you are in your journey, just know that you are being asked to not settle for less, and knowing that recognizing that you deserve better, and if you have to fight for it, then you will fight for it. You're not going to settle for less. You're not going to let anyone step over you or anything like that. So you are like, no way, I'm not going to allow things like that to happen in my life. So I feel like that is very, very beautiful. And one last card to finish off the reading. One last card to finish off the reading. Final message for Group 3. What is one final message for Group 3? Okay, I'm gonna take that one. Awesomeness with a superhero. That's what you are, a superhero to your own life. I am capital A awesome, and I refuse to pay attention to anything that makes me feel otherwise. Instead, I congratulate myself for every victory and accomplishment and teeny tiny step in the right direction. Because even the smallest positive action, like reading an affirmation, is evidence that I care about keeping my sweet creative juju juiced up. And isn't that just the awesomeness? Completely awesome. So it's like you realizing of your own power. You refuse to let anyone let you believe that you don't deserve what you deserve. You refuse to take anything less than what you deserve. You know your worth, and you congratulate yourself for knowing your worth and moving into the right direction, because sometimes you just have to be your biggest cheerleader. So this is like a really great message to finish things off for you, group 3. Alright, group 3, I think that's all the message that I have for you. I find this like a really wonderful reading, very empowerment, like a lot of empowerment messages for you. So I hope you resonate with some, if not most, of the messages in this reading. If you don't resonate to some of it, then just know that this is a general reading, so some of the messages are not for you. And if you like this video, then if you enjoyed this video, consider giving it a like. Comment if you have any additional things to say. If you want to see more videos from me, then do consider subscribing. If you know anyone that's going to enjoy this reading or need this reading, then do by all means share this video with them. If not, I'm going to bid you farewell. Enjoy the rest of 2022. Good luck with your journey, and I will see you in 2023. Bye, group 3.